Hi again, Greg Bell, the News Tribune here in Nashville, Tennessee. The Seahawks lost 33-27 to the Titans today on an 88-degree, 97% humidity day. What in the South they call another Sunday in the South. But for the Seahawks, it fatigued them. Their defense was smoked by the second half when Tennessee ran for 165 of their 195 yards rushing. That's the most allowed by a Seahawks team in 4 years, since 2013 at St. Louis, when the Rams got for 200 on them. It was very evident to me on two particular plays how tired the Seahawks were. Early in the third quarter, Pro Bowl outside linebacker KJ Wright ran down Marcus Mariota, who is a 4.3 type speed quarterback, in the open field on a scramble. I made a note that was remarkable, in that Mariota is supposed to be so fast, and it was only a 3-yard gain. Well, 2 long Tennessee drives later, Wright was chasing DeMarco Murray, a much bulkier, bigger plow horse running back, in the backfield. He didn't get the run fit right, he missed it, then tried to peel back and chase Murray. He ended up chasing Murray for all of Murray's 75 yards, the longest run for a touchdown or for any gain against the Seahawks in the Pete Carroll era. Of course, that began in 2010. Murray's touchdown made it 30-14 late in the third quarter, and then everything else after that Russell Wilson did brilliantly on offense. 373 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, was all in playground catch-up desperation mode, and the Seahawks never got closer than 33-27. After the game, what was very telling in the locker room, Cam Chancellor talking about Richard Sherman in particular, not by name but by circumstance, about the, quote, in Chancellor's word, quote, bickering that went on in the first half. You saw Sherman once, the one play that Chancellor had the interception on that could have changed the game in the first half. Sherman got called for 3 penalties. One was on pass interference of Eric Decker for hitting him before the ball arrived. The second was for holding Decker to the ground as Chancellor began his interception return. And then the third one was for unsportsmanlike conduct for taking off his helmet and rushing over to an official and arguing the flags on him. Sherman said that he did not like the explanation he was getting from the side deep official that threw the flag from behind the play, behind Sherman's back. The official said that Sherman was grabbing Decker's chest in the front of the area. Well, Sherman's point was the official was behind him, unless he had, in Sherman's words, x-ray vision. He could never have seen Sherman grabbing Decker. So that's what set off Sherman to go ranting and raving with his helmet off. Pete Carroll said after the game, you can't take your helmet off. Sherman stayed steamed. A couple series later, Mariota runs to this sideline here in the opposite end zone, near the opposite end zone, around the 20-yard line, the 30-yard line. He popped him when he was clearly out of bounds. Now, Sherman said after the game it was still in bounds, but Mariota's foot was in that white boundary of the sideline, right over my shoulder here, and about heading on beyond the boundary into the covered bench area when Sherman popped him. The whole Titans bench exploded on Sherman, pushing and shoving, big talk ensued, and it looked like for a moment Sherman was going to be tossed from the game. An official that were gathering right in front of me in the press box level, straight down below us on the field, an official gave a thumbs ejection signal, but after they talked for a while, the officials decided it was a live ball unnecessary roughness penalty, personal foul, and not a second unsportsmanlike, which would have resulted in Sherman being ejected from the game. Chancellor's point after the game was, it's all unnecessary bickering, we don't need it. It detracts from the defense, it takes energy away from what we're trying to do. Chancellor made the point of even trying to talk to the defense about not bickering takes energy. And boy, the Seahawks sure could have used energy on defense in the second half. 21 third quarter points for Tennessee after the Seahawks started in the second half with their smartest, sharpest drive of the season. Going again, no huddle, using no huddle again. They took a 14-9 lead. By the way, the no huddle, I've been a proponent of this for weeks. The Seahawks scored 41 points. Now it's 48 with that late touchdown. 48 points this season. 39 of them have come on drives where they've at least used no huddle for some of those marches. They're just in a better rhythm. The offensive line doesn't have to block as long. The defense is tired. The pass rushers don't pass as much. You've heard me say this again and again. It bore true again today. But it was interesting to me that on a day that it was supposed to be unifying, and it was for the Seahawks, both they and the Titans set an NFL precedent by neither team coming out for the national anthem before the game. The reaction, of course, to one, the social movement against racial inequality going on in this league, and two, President Trump's comments on Friday night that NFL owners should, quote, fire players who don't stand for the anthem and that they are, quote, sons of bitches. The players around the league, and especially Seahawks, took exception to that, talked about it after the game quite a bit as well. Then the Seahawks decided, okay, rather than everybody maybe taking a knee or sitting, if you're not comfortable with that on the field during the anthem, we're just going to stay inside the locker room. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers did that as well in Chicago earlier today, but what was different about this game, both teams did it. The Seahawks were talking with the Titans. Doug Baldwin said right up until an hour or two before kickoff, and deciding that both of the teams would stay in. So it was a unifying theme and a unifying rally, and even Baldwin said that this game will unify us, yet it's Chancellor talking about the divisiveness of Richard Sherman's bickering in the first half as detracting from what the Seahawks defense was trying to do. Always something with this team. 1-2 now the Seahawks are. They head home against the Colts on Sunday night, a game they should be heavily favored to win and should win, although as we've seen with this offense, it can come and go. Today the offense played it well enough to beat most teams, and the Seahawks defense let them down for the first time in a while, at least back to January's playoff loss at Atlanta. I'll be covering it all, as always, on thenewstribune.com and on Twitter at GBellSeattle. Thanks as always for watching.